The Rocket Review is sponsored by Why Not Saloon.
We're so honored to have on the show Grammy Award winner and Rock and Roll Hall of Famer, half of the Righteous Brothers, the one and only Bill Medley. Bill, thanks for coming on the show.
Well, listen, thanks for having me.
You know, it's not a bad thing either when you've got a brand new album that is fully releasing on Valentine's Day, on February 14th. But then you've got all these singles dropping. It seems like you invited some pretty good friends on here. I was listening through the whole album, and whenever you can invite, Michael McDonald, Vince Gill, Shawn, Colvin, and then also Keb Mo to do essentially, your favorite country songs. I got to ask you, how did you pick the songs for this album, Bill?
Well, it was easy and it was tough at the same time because I wanted to kind of do a tribute to the country songs and the country writers.
Right.
And I wanted to go, the older generation. And so there's a million songs. I mean, there's a million songs. And how do you choose 12 or 13 out of, a million? And but I just kind of went to the songs that really touched me, and the more I listened to the CD, I listened to, or whatever you call it, an album, CD, I don't know what it is. It really is loosely about my life. I mean, every one of those songs I can relate to and been through, and so I just kind of picked out those songs that jumped out to me, that touched me, and that I felt I could really relate to.
Well, it was so interesting with this album, Straight from the Heart, Bill. It seems to me, and once again, being a fan of your music throughout the years with so many hit songs that you've had and the hit songwriter that you are, but it seems like everybody that you invited on this album, everybody just kind of blends with your voice. I mean, how do you make that work? I mean, to where, even the Michael McDonald track, it's like going, you guys fit together seamlessly on that.
Well, he's such a great singer. All these guys are, Shawn, Cole, they're just the best at what they do, and singing with, Michael McDonald and I were pretty much raised on the same, Ray Charles and the blues and stuff. So that we were both a little concerned that we both kind of had unusual voices, and we didn't know if they would blend together, and
it fit perfectly.
No, it fit. I was absolutely amazed and really honored that he would come on and help me out on this CD.
Well, and I think that nobody was going to turn you down on this either, including Nashville's own Vince Gill on here with you. And it's like the song selection, I got to tell you, so many favorites on here, but also, bringing the Bill Medley tone on it. It's like you're one of those guys, Bill, to where no matter what you sing or no matter what you say, right off the bat, I can tell it's your voice.
Well, that's probably good news and bad.
I think it's good news.
Thank God for bad sinuses. I'm just and with the songs on this CD, I was determined to use that voice. There's so many times that I've recorded albums that I feel like I'm trying to scream myself out of the album, but I just love this. And Fred Mollin, the producer, really understood where I was coming from and what we wanted to do, and the songs and the emotion of the songs.
Right.
And it was, and listen, it's loosely a country. It's all country songs, and I don't know if you'd call it a country album or what. We'll see where it lands, but
right. But they are country songs. But like you mentioned too, and certainly, so many people have grown up listening to you, Bill, myself included. But as you mentioned, that you're a huge blues and early rock fan, and certainly Little Richard was an influence, Ray Charles, Bobby Blue Bland, BB King. So I thought it was pretty incredible when you had Keb Mo join you on this album as well.
Yeah, Keb's been a friend for quite a few years. We've written songs together, and when he was out here in California, and yeah, I just was real honored with all the performers that sang on the album, and but yeah, I did these country songs because I am a blues singer. In reality. I mean, I was raised on rhythm and blues, love rhythm and blues. And so I really can sing one way. I'm a one-trick pony.
Oh,
I'm not,
I think you don't give yourself enough credit because I mean these songs you sound so great on. And once again, I mean Kenny Rogers brought you to Nashville back, I believe, in 1978. So
yeah.
even though certainly with that soulful voice you toured with Loretta Lynn and also with the band Alabama, and then became friends with Johnny Cash, Glen Campbell, Kristofferson. So you moved in those circles also, Bill.
Yeah, I'm 84 and still in the business. If you've been around as long as I have, I guess you're going to run into a lot of people. But I've really been blessed in my career to have. I mean, Elvis Presley was a real good friend, and actually Vince Gill and I did some country music back there, and I don't know, 80 mid 80s, and when I toured with Alabama, and Vince Gill and I were nominated for being best newcomer of the year. I'd
How
been around
incredible
20.
considering all of your other awards, Bill.
Well, listen, I was so proud that country music, because it was the CMAs that they kind of ushered me in. I was so honored. Of course, I've been in the business 25 years, and Vince was basically just starting, but he had been around, in the group. He was in that group before,
Yeah,
and
Pure Prairie League.
yeah, Prairie League, and but he won, and I'll
Ah,
never let him forget it.
but then also then you were kind enough to invite him on this album then.
Yeah, well, he needed the help. Actually,
I don't think you need a lot of help though. And I've got to bring this up too, to where it's like, such a storied career and so many songs. I feel like also, Bill, besides, the songs that you've written that other people have performed and certainly a number of your hits, but it's like you're like the movie soundtrack guy,
yeah.
between Dirty Dancing and Ghost. I mean, you can just wait out by the mailbox and the checks just come, right?
Well, maybe your mailbox. Yeah, my mailbox is pretty good. Somebody told me in an interview the other day that I've sang in 30 movies or something.
30. Now I knew it was in the 20s. I didn't realize it was 30, but it's like,
Well, let's go in
but think about all the songs. I mean, with your hit roster of songs over the
yeah.
years, doesn't surprise me.
Well, for some reason, uh, uh, in the 70s and 80s, well, even in the 60s, 70s, and 80s, for some reason, uh, they just they wanted to use my voice in movies. I was told that when my voice came on, that it would attract real attention.
Right.
And listen, I was thrilled. I loved doing it. It kind of moved me out of my comfort zone a little bit to do some of these songs, which is actually, as an artist, is fun to do unless they move you so far out of your
Right.
comfort zone that.
But I
But
mean, but once again, I had the time of my life. I mean, that's, another one of those iconic songs, Bill, that everybody knows and that they obviously think of you when they hear that.
well, boy, I've had the time of my life was one of those amazing accidents. They called me to do Dirty Dancing, and and uh, and I said, well, what? They said, we want you to sing in this movie, and I said, well, what's the name of the movie? They said it's called Dirty Dancing. So I said, that sounds like a bad porno movie. Can we wait till my mom and dad aren't here? And then,
Right.
but
Uh,
but I couldn't do the song because my wife Paula was having our child, and I promised her that I would be there.
right.
And so they said, well, okay, well, we'll call back and when she has them, and they would call every week, every day. And it was Jimmy Einer from New York, and Paula had the child, and they called and said, "Listen, Jennifer Warnes wants to sing it with you, if she can do it with you." And I said, "Oh, that would be great," because she just had that hit with Joe Cocker,
Right.
"Up
I
Where You
remember.
Belong," and I and I didn't think, well, nobody knew the movie was going to do anything,
Right.
at all. So actually, Jennifer and I, we loved the song. We loved what it was saying, and but we didn't think the movie was going to do anything. So we really recorded the song just to work together in the studio, and boy, the movie came out, and I've had the time of my life. Was just absolutely put in the perfect spot in that movie,
Right.
and I think the kids, whoever went to see it, go see the movie, and that was the last song on their brain. They would
Hmm.
just run out and buy it. And I think the album sold 32 million copies or something. Just amazing.
Yeah. It gives you goosebumps thinking about it. But it's funny too that how songs that you've done too, Bill, and I've got to brag on you a bit, to where they kind of transcend generations, because I know that my teenage daughter even knows a number of your songs, because your songs, not only from what you had done with them as a solo artist and as the Righteous Brothers, but then other people have recorded them also. And it's just like they continue on. And then the movies that you're tied to ended up being iconic movies.
Yeah, at the end of the 80s there, they put Lovin Feelin was in the first Top Gun, and then Dirty Dancing, and then Ghost, and then we were back bigger and hotter than ever. And we were just very fortunate to to get great songs. I mean, I called Barry and Cynthia, who wrote Lovin Feelin, and I said, "You didn't write us a hit song. You wrote us a career." And they did.
Exactly. Well, and
This,
speaking of which, Bill, I got to bring up on a career is that you are still performing. You have a residency in Las Vegas at the
yeah,
South Point Casino, and you've got Buddy Hurd that's performing with you, doing the Righteous Brothers songs. And so, I mean, this is a great gig. I mean, you have at your young age, you have a residency still in Las Vegas.
yeah, I've been very fortunate in Vegas. Bobby and I went to Vegas in '65 at the Sands Hotel.
Hmm.
Frank Sinatra was in the main room. We were in the other room. And you can imagine two 25-year-old guys in Las Vegas with Sinatra in the main room. But Vegas has always kind of been a second home for me.
Hmm.
And Michael Gaughan, who owns the South Point, so a dear friend of mine ever since '65. And so, and the Vegas, and which has become real. Uh, what is it that real corporate,
Right.
and it's real, in my opinion, it's real difficult. And I've never had to deal with corporate. I mean, I'm an old school guy, and so we started out in at the Harris, and his name is
Yeah.
Bucky, by the way. It's Bucky Hurd. He We started out there. We did 6 years there. Then then I just kind of got fed up with the Strip. The Strip kind of became a loose whorehouse as far as I was concerned. It was really,
Well, and also, with you as well, Bill, you know how hard it is on your voice, because I know earlier in your career when you guys were performing so much, as the Righteous Brothers, um, as you know, I mean, Vegas voice is a real thing. When you're doing that many shows a week, it can be hard on you as an artist.
it's very tough. They used to call it Vegas throat, and all it really was was the when rock and roll sing. Well, I know, I guess in the Sinatra era too. It really just was the dryness. You know, you go out there and you do 2 and 3 shows a night,
Right.
and Sinatra and Elvis and these guys would go in and do a month and do 2 shows every single night. And I don't know how they did it until Frank Sinatra sat Bobby and I down and told us how to do it. Go to the steam room and get that steam. And 'cause
Ah,
boy, I mean, it was killing me, killing.
right. Yeah, I remember it put you out of commission for a little while to where you weren't able to, tour, after,
Yeah.
the early residency.
Yeah, I was told I would never sing again.
Oh my gosh.
They said my voice looked like hamburger meat. And thank God I ran into my old choir teacher who was now giving voice lessons. And he said, "How you doing?" I said, "Not very good." So I said, "I'm out of the business now, I guess," because they said I'll never sing again. He said, "I can fix that."
Wow.
And God blessing me did.
Yeah, well, and as you mentioned too, with you and Bucky Hurd, you guys are playing how many shows a week in Las Vegas right now at South Point?
We only do 3. We do Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday, which sounds odd, but to do Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday. But when I met with Mike Gahn, I said, I want to do Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday. That's what we were doing at Harris.
Mm-hmm.
He said, "Oh, you can't do that because people will be coming home from work and they'll be getting babysitters and this." I said, "My people don't work. They're retired."
But you're selling out shows though, Bill. Still, I mean,
I
and
know.
also as you and I know for Vegas, there's no down nights. It's kind of like New York.
Yeah,
It's like,
exactly.
you can, as long as you've got the fan base, which you obviously do, you can sell out shows any night of the week.
Well, it turned out great because we go out on the weekend and do concerts. So it's just, listen, it's a blessing. 84 years old and still being able to come out here and God bless the audiences. It's always up to the public.
Right.
You, they're going to come and see you, or they're not going to come and see you. They're
Mm-hmm.
going to buy the record, or they're not going to buy the record. So it's really up to them. And as long as they show up, I'll be there.
Well, I've got a feeling that you're going to have another hit album on your hands with Straight from Your Heart. And while I was listening to all the tracks, which, the dance, so many other great songs on here, I couldn't help but think you may have to come up with a second one, Straight from the Heart Part 2 in another year or so. What do you think about that?
Uh, I will listen. I would love it from your mouth to God's ears. Uh, but I really wasn't looking to record. I mean, I'm 84, and I figure, well, okay, I'm just living out the rest of the dream. But I would do as many as possible, and hopefully they get. And I told Curb Records, I said, "Boy, if you can get some momentum going here, I would do as many as these as as I can." I just love, love, love the songs, and I love how I can. I'm not a country singer, obviously. I just love country songs.
Well, and I think though the great thing on these, Bill, with every song on this album is that you bring your own flavor to it. You bring Bill Medley's voice to it. You're not trying to sound like the country song. It's not a cover.
Yeah,
It's
no.
it's it's your interpretation of these songs, and also having great guests on like Vince Gill and Shawn Colvin and Michael McDonald and Keb Mo. It's not bad when you can get together with a few of your friends and do some recordings too.
No, they made it pretty easy.
Well,
But
I want to make sure too, Bill, for all of our viewers, with your website for the shows with the Righteous Brothers, for the new album Straight to the Heart. I think it's going to be on CD and vinyl. I hope. I know it's going to be out on digital. You've got singles out, but the full album's coming out February 14th. Where do our viewers need to go for the website, for social media, for everything Bill Medley?
well, we're righteousbrothers.com. I have to read it because
Yeah,
I don't know anything.
this one's being developed.
And this is for the album.
It's being developed. Yeah.
Oh, it's being developed, billmedley.com. And that's just being developed. And but Righteous Brothers right now, they can find out exactly where I am, if I'm in
Awesome.
jail or wherever I am.
Well, I'll tell you what, congratulations on the new album, Bill. It's just amazing. I can't wait to come see you at a live show at the South Point Casino in Las Vegas, also with you and Bucky Hurd doing the Righteous Brothers songs. But I think you're going to have to add a lot of these songs to the catalog also for some of the concerts now.
Well, I'm going to have to. I'm doing the Opry, the Grand Ole Opry. Well, I don't know if it's the Grand. Is it called Grand Ole?
Yes, it is.
Opry, and so I'm doing that in February, and the Righteous Brothers are going into the Ryman Auditorium, and I don't know, sometime March 30th next year, and we're looking forward to that. So if you can come on down, come on down.
We will do it. It doesn't sound like you're slowing down much. I'll tell you what, Bill Medley, you're such a legend. It's great to have you on the show. Congratulations on Straight from the Heart. The entire album will be out February 14th, but some singles are out now, and it's great to see you. And I think this is like another renaissance of your career. Congratulations on everything, Bill.
Listen, God bless you, and thank you. Thanks for having me.
The Rocket Review is sponsored by Why Not Saloon.